Welcome back to my channel Conquer the Fear. In this video, we are going to discuss about what is JDK's feature lifecycle, how they are going to impact the developer, what are the different lifecycle stages available for this particular JDK features. We will all discuss in this particular video. So watch this video till the end because it's quite important. Might not be useful for you all to in the development purpose, but it is definitely useful for the people to understand when this particular features got introduced and what is the current stage of that particular feature and whether it can be used in the production or not. Okay. So these are all things I will try to explain you in this particular video. So this is a quite important video. Please watch this till the end. Now we'll discuss the significance and the impact of this particular JDK features. But before that, let's understand what exactly this particular JDK features lifecycle is about. Here, if you see, I have actually opened an OpenJDK linked over here. Now I'll first click on this particular JDK, the release OpenJDK version. Now just make a note, this is the JDK version 24. But if you see the features over here, you will see all the new features which are being added over here. So you have to notice one more thing over here. Apart from the what are the different features being introduced, along with this particular number, there is something in the braces. If you see here the experimental, you'll see the second preview, the incubator, and the fourth preview, like all this. Okay, so what are this, what is the impact of this, what is the significance of this? Okay, how it is going to impact the developer, why these particular things are important for the developer to know. Okay, we'll discuss all this in this particular video. Now, as we have seen, for this particular JDK 24, these are the features. Okay, now let's jump into what exactly this particular experimental preview or incubator is about. Okay, now we'll move back to this particular window over here. Now the term experimental preview, these are all used in the JDK lifecycle. Now this is going to describe that the progression of the JDK enhancement proposal or new features which has been initialized as a concept and then developed to the eventual stage inclusion in the Java platform. So ultimately the features will be either at the end of the stage will be added to the JDK or it will be removed based on the feedbacks it has got. So they are going to be the integral part of the Open JDK release process and it has got a JEP lifecycle. Now when it comes to the different terms what we discussed, right? Experimental preview, post preview, and so on. It is going to indicate that what level of the maturity and what stability the particular features bring in, and what exactly the status of that. So JEP is nothing but the JDK Enhancement Proposal. Now these are the I would say the designation which are very crucial for the developer to signal them that particular feature which was introduced can be moved, features will be moving on to the production or what kind of feedback they got on that particular features. Now let me list down all these particular terms over here and what is the significance of that and what will be the impact on this particular Java developers. Now, the very first what we are going to look into is the experimental. Now, what is the significance? It is one of the earlier stage of the feature. So any feature which is going to be introduced will first come into the experimental stage. Now, this is highly unstable and subject to significant changes. Okay, it can also be even removed in the next version or the release. So they are included primarily to get the very early feedback or get exploration of the new feature. Now, what is the impact of this on the Java developer? This is going to be a very risky, so you should never use these experimental features, especially on the production. So just make a note. So if you are anywhere trying to experiment with the experimental features, so don't make it on the production. So the APIs can drastically change without being notified to you. There can be breaking in the compatibility. Now, Why is this? Because this the feedback. This is to get the feedback from the developer. Now, this is an opportunity for the advanced users and the library developer provide a feedback for the design and the implementation done for the feature. Now, it might require a special flag. So often this particular experimental feature is going to need some command line flag to especially enable that. So you see in the example, there is an hyphen hyphen enable hyphen preview, or you can actually have some specific and internal flag for it. Now the examples how this particular features are added to the release is this way. Now you see like example 404, the generational synodo, which is an experimental. Now it has been actually introduced as part of the experimental. Hence, it can be further moved or released, removed from the releases based on the feedback. Now then comes the second stage, that is the experimental. Now preview, if you see, it is going to be there are preview, then there is a first preview, then is a second preview, there is a third preview, and so on. Now, what is the importance? Because this is little bit more stable version from what we discussed as an experimental, but still it is they are not the finalized version. So they are included in the JDK as a release, but to get a broader feedback from wider audience or the developer community. Now, the APIs are generally very stable within the specific release, but they can still again change in the subsequent releases. Now, there is a first preview, second preview, and so on, which is going to indicate that it has been pre-reviewed multiple times, and potentially there has been some refinement based on the feedback it received from the previous feedbacks. Now, what is the impact of this? You have to be very very caution about this when you are dealing with the production code. So while it is little bit stable than the experimental, but that is not the preview features are not used for the production, so it is generally discouraged to use that. It is going to be a huge risk of that. Now the API can also change, so the requirement modification can be done, and when the latest JDK version is there, they will either finalize this or they will again review it. Okay. The value of this particular early, and it is very important to get the valuable feedback of the early adoption and the feedback. So they will try out in the non-production environment. They will provide the feedback, usability, performance related metrics to them, and they will give the feedback. So based on that, it will design, like they have to do some optimization in that particular feature. Now again, this has to be again checked up to enable this particular flag to review this. Now you must see explicitly enable it over here. Now if you just for an example, if you see, this is the preview over here. This is the fourth preview over here. Now these are all 487, 488, and etc. These are all the some preview for this particular feature. If you see, it has surpassed the preview, the first preview, and it has moved to the second preview over here. So that is the reason it has been marked like that. Now it comes incubator. Now there are again first, second, third incubator. Now this is going to be a module. It is going to indicate that it's a model level changes, that a new API and the features that are not going to be the part of the core Java as API. So it has to be delivered to the developer. But these are all modules. So this is a mechanism where the delivery features that are more mature than the experimental, but still undergoing significant design and the implementation iteration before it is finalized as a standard API. Similar to the preview, it is the first incubator, which is going to indicate there will be a multiple iteration happening on that. Now, what is the impact on it? There will be similar to the preview, but these are all module based. So the risk and the benefit are similar to that. So it is better that you don't directly integrate into the core API and your pro core application. Now this requires module inclusion. Now, developer needs to explicitly include this in the incubator model to in the project to use this particular feature. Now, this is very crucial. The primary goal is for this particular feedback on this API design and the practical use. So, this is the main purpose of it. Just for an example to showcase the vector API, this is a ninth incubator as an example. Now, general availability is nothing but this is the one of the final stage and the stage where this particular stable feature has been confirmed. So once the feature is reaches the GA, that is the general availability, API is considered stable and it is going to be the part of Java standard library or platform. So it is going to be fully supported and it is definitely recommended for the production. Yes. Now, what is the impact? Developer can confidently use this. There will be no problem in the production because health has been developed. It has been tested so far. Now, there has been no requirement for this particular uh, flags to be added. So there is no command line things required to enable this particular feature. Then comes the deprecate. Now this indicates that the end of the life cycle of any features. So the feature is still present, but it is going to be planned up to be removed in the future releases. So the developer are strongly advised to stop using this in your application, or rather you can use some alternative as an option. So this feature will be completely removed from the JDK once it is completely finalized. Now, the impact of this code which are used as a deprecation for removal, you will need to migrate as soon as there is, because end of support is done for that. So you have to ensure that there is a compatibility version already available, and then you can switch that to the particular version. Now, if the feature is removed, what happens? The code will rely on that particular things, and there will be a you will not be able to compile it and run the JDK. So there will be problems. So the examples of this are like 479. See, these are all depreciated. 501. These are all depreciated. Now the significance of this particular Java developer is that as we already discussed, we are going to get the early feedback for that particular JDK community, going to get the reduced risk of API breakage. There is some smooth transition happening where we are taking the earlier adopted new features. We are trying to experiment on the new features and giving the feedbacks until it is stable and recycled to the stable version. Transparency. This is going to be allow the developer to see what is coming to as a new feature for them, so that they can make use of that in the future how it goes in the evolution process. Now then comes the innovation. It is going to allow the developer to provide a pathway for significantly adding some innovation in it. So it is going to be immediately committing to the stable versions over there. So that's what the summary is about. What exactly these particular features, life cycles are about. We discussed all of them. Now, just one example to showcase what exactly the the life cycle stages are there and how it moves from the experimental to the production. I would like to give you an example. So one example is Java Flight Recorder. Now this was firstly being introduced as a commercial experimental feature. Later on, it has been uh, refined and other things has been done on that, and then it is currently generally available. So it is only part of the JDK now, and this is available throughout the project now. The That is the JDK. Now, if you look at this, it is now what exactly JF profiling is. What it's profiling and the event collection framework, right? So this was introduced, and again, like preview and other steps have been followed sequentially, and then ultimately it is now part of that particular process. Now, you see here, this the origin wise it was defined before the JDK level, so it was declared as a commercial or proprietary prior to JDK. Then later on, they have started open sourcing it in the JDK 9 and things. After that, it has been moved. In the JDK 11, it has been added as an open general availability. After that, uh, what will happen? It will be significantly used in the production as well. So this is how it is going to make use of it. So any features starts its life cycle from the experimental and then to the general availability. So I hope I was able to explain you all exactly what exactly this particular life cycle is about, what its significance when it comes to developer, how it can impact your applications which are running in your local environments in production. If this video was helpful, please share this video with the needy people. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching.